Go follow her right now. Chiney, Chiney. That's her social media. Is that Twitter and
That's
IG?
Everything.
That's both
That's
of them, right? That's everything. Very, very, very simple. Chiney, we were trending again. It seems like every time we have you or Monica on, y'all start trending. I don't know what it is. So we was having a very nuanced conversation, and you shed some light as being a number 1 overall draft pick, coming up in the system, the under 18, the under 20. You was in the rotation, playing overseas, winning gold medals for America. Your sister, number 1 overall pick, an MVP, a champion, never being selected. So you provided a lot of insight that a lot of people are not able to provide. So Stephen A and I took the approach that, look, we think Caitlin Clark, the 12 best players, she goes, she stays. We believe the Americans, the women, will win the gold medal. I understand Stephen A. Shannon. I understand the marketing aspect. We understand the eyeball that she would join, but you had a very different approach of why you don't believe that she was selected, and you didn't have I don't think you had a problem with her not being selected. So Ocho and I want to open the floor up to you and let you go into great detail, because when you're on television, you got to get to the top of the hour, you got to get to the break, you got 4 or 5 people, and even though we have 3 people, we're going to open the floor up to you, Chiney. Tell us what's going on in this situation.
Sure. I think the hardest thing is that oftentimes when we're in a debate format, people are more concerned with entertainment than the truth. And the truth is that I have a lot of lived experience into why she probably was not selected. And I said it before, it's largely based off of experience. I don't know if people realize that earlier this year, Team USA almost lost to Belgium. It took a buzzer beater by Breanna Stewart to win. The rest of the world is coming. I don't know if you followed the U.S. women's national team. You saw what happened with the men. I know we didn't send our best squad over there, but over the last summer, you saw the international competition. If you look at the NBA right now, who is dominating the league in some regards? The last few years, foreign players. The game has changed. And I really do give a lot of credit as it pertains to basketball to the foresight of the NBA. The NBA has wanted to make this a global game. I'm Nigerian. The only other professional basketball league outside of the NBA and the WNBA is the Basketball Africa League, who just had competition and championships. They're really putting their work into growing the global game. But at the end of the day, that helps everyone rise. And I think people haven't realized the level of competition is so fierce that you don't want to take a chance of, at this iteration, potentially maybe having a player that has no familiarity with the roster, no experience at that high level. I think the youngest player on the roster is probably Sabrina Ionescu, who's a first-time Olympian, but we've seen what she's done in the league. The previous Olympians, they've all had at least 9 players have had Olympic experience. So if you look at what they constructed, they know that the world is coming. And then I think at the end of the day, we're people that are all fans, right? The reason why we have the jobs we have is because we love sports. We love it at the highest level. We appreciate the moment that the women's game is at. We want that moment to carry over, but it can't come at the expense of what the Olympic mission is, and it's to medal. And I think that's the one thing people are sort of missing in all of this. The goals of Team USA by criteria is to assemble the best team, a team where your players are set up for success. And I think based off of the popularity of Caitlin Clark, people think that shouldn't matter, but that is the central mission. And I don't know if this is this certain circumstance is setting Caitlin up for success. Her not playing with the team, her not having experience out there as much as the other women. There's a lot of factors that go into these types of decisions that are the reality and not our dream for what we want the women's game to be. The women's game has always been the most competitive league in the world. And then you whittle that down, and now this is the most competitive team in the world. That's what it's consistently been. That's the reason why they've won 7 Olympic gold medals straight. They don't want to deviate from that just because of what people deem is popular or what people deem is, this is a move for business. The business that they want to handle is winning on the floor. That's always been Team USA's priority. And I think because of the expectation that surrounds Caitlin Clark, people think it should shift. Team USA said, no, it's not going to, because that's not what we've always done.
But I think, listen, I agree with what she said. I think Caitlin Clark will have her time, knowing the player that she has been, and based on what I've been able to see when she was at Iowa, based on what I've seen so far in her short stint in WNBA, she likes the fact that she wasn't picked. It gives her something to strive for. Like she said, they created a monster. This is something you want to strive for, and being able to represent your country at some point, if it's not right now, later on down the road. Obviously, again, the resume of the ladies that are part of Team USA are those that have chemistry together. They play well together, and they have an extensive resume of work, a body of work that they put in, which is why they've all been assembled like the Avengers to represent our country.
Can I ask you, do you believe that the 12 best women are on this
Absolutely.
team?
I do. Now, there are some areas that I am concerned about, and let's get personal for a second, okay, guys? Because you know what's hilarious?
What's
Everyone
hilarious?
woke up so big mad that Caitlin Clark did not make the team because everyone's looking forward to her having the spotlight in the biggest moments. This is how I felt personally when I didn't make a team a couple years back. This is how my sister felt as the only MVP that never made an Olympic roster. It was heartbreaking. It was devastating. And y'all don't have blood in the game. I got blood in the game. Now I understand that Caitlin has the eyeballs that no player who has picked up a ball has ever had before. So I'm not saying that my circumstance or my sister's circumstance should have been anything different. But I just think it's funny because I'm like, y'all really care for the right reasons because you want to see the game grow. But I do think there's a difference between women and men. In the WNBA and women's basketball, our approach to the game is to honor the game, to respect the game, to play the game the right way. For so many years, people have been critical. Our league has been joked about for a long time. So many people come in with preconceived notions about what women's basketball is. And yes, Caitlin is a part of changing that narrative, but that doesn't mean we change our entire sport. That doesn't mean that we change the integrity to which we assemble rosters to go win Olympic gold. That doesn't mean we change how we compete on the floor. And I know you were talking to me about competing like, Chiney, that hard foul wasn't competition. You know what Caitlin said? Caitlin said the next day, this happens in the heat of competition. People lose their cool, but we keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So like, as women, we have, let me tell you something, Unc and Ocho, we have not played for the paychecks. We are playing for the legacy. We are playing for our reputation. Right. We are playing because we are upholding the standard to which women's basketball has dominated, even though so many people have been critical of us. And so when we keep that same energy when it comes to picking the Olympic roster, people are like, oh, you know what? No, what's good for you. Y'all didn't care beforehand, but we are consistent in how we approach the game. I'm telling you, like, I don't know how many times I have to say it, for people to understand it. It's hard because, like, today I sit on air and I'm like, I've been in those rooms when I'm about to get cut. You know what I'm saying? I've been in those rooms watching people make their dreams come true. It is a process that is sanctified. It is a process that is honorable. It is a process that Caitlin has accepted herself. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think she has much choice.
She doesn't have a choice, but you're right. But she did have a choice to react to so many different things. But look at how she reacted to that one.
Yeah. I think the thing is she was always going to take the high road. They're hard fouler. Oh, that's in the heat of the competition. Oh, there are a lot of great. You know, the thing is that she has an image to uphold, and a lot of times saying the right things when you could have easily said the wrong thing. I think that's a part of it. Like you could have been like, hold on, I've come up through the ranks playing 16, 17, under 18. I was the under 20. And hold on. So y'all talk about experience. I've got international experience. Now it's a problem. Your sister. I'm an MVP. I'm a champion. Oh, now what's the excuse now?
Nah, you know what's crazy? Because the conversation was about marketing, and this is how you need to know about marketing. I'm like, bro, we've been suffering from other people trying to market our league and not accepting the authentic nature of the competitors, the athletes that we are right now. You think we don't know about marketing? We've been shaking down the roof to try to get marketed the way that we want to. We want people to see the trash talk. We want people to see the competitive fire. We want people to challenge each other. We want people to see us as the badass female athletes that we are. But now it's like, oh, you guys don't know. We've been fighting to be ourselves for so long. And finally, society has the eyes to be like, oh, this is women's basketball. Oh, this is hoops. The problem is that some people have come in just through the lens of one player, not understanding how the entire ecosystem works. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
That's the frustrating part. But we accept it because we understand that growth is necessary, even including all of these growing pains.
The funny thing, when I think about it, obviously me being a new fan to the WNBA and just learning about it, obviously going to a dream game maybe a month ago and seeing a few players play, and now becoming a little bit more knowledgeable about the game in itself, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the trash talk.
How are the vibes in Atlanta? Tell me. How are the vibes in Atlanta?
I've never been to the club. I haven't been to the club since like 1999. But if I had to give an example or an analogy on what it's like, that's what the dream game was like. But on top of that, the Dallas Wings and dream game was exciting on the court. Forget what was going on off the court, because off the court made what was going on the court that much even better. So I was really excited, and I'm hoping, Unc, when we go on our little tour, we can, every city we go to, there's a WNBA team. So I'm hoping we can attend a game so he can get that same experience.
Wait, this is Nightcap, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people see me on air and they understand Chiney's facts and figures. People don't really know me. I don't share myself too much, but I feel like this is the right format for me to share myself. Ocho, you said you haven't been to the club. I'll tell you a story about the club in Atlanta. So you guys know me. I'm like a wholesome lady.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a wholesome lady. I don't do too much. Y'all don't see me outside too much. But I did secure something, so you know how I do.
So you had, you went, I got it. You went, I got, okay.
Okay, so this is one of the things. I went to Atlanta, and my teammates, they be moving around, they be outside, and one of our games at that time was like 9 p.m. So we didn't finish until maybe 11, and I was looking on my phone. I was like, y'all, game's over. We got the dub. I was like, man, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. But everything's closed. One of my teammates from like, I'm from out here. I know where we can go. It's always open. I was like, okay, cool. I just trusted her. Trusted her. Was it Cheetah? Is it called Cheetah? Is that
Magic City?
Was it? It wasn't Magic City.
You got the Cheetah right down the street on Spring Street.
Thank you. That's where I went. She said, look, it's always open. I was eating my post-game meal, winked, and then looked up and saw cheeks. Like that was my post-game meal. So yeah, when you say you don't go to the club, I don't go to the club either, but I still end up there because it be like that sometimes.
That experience is not, I've been trying to explain it to people, but words don't work. Words don't work. It's like trying to explain soccer to people. You'll never understand until you're actually in the stands and you're able to experience it yourself. So,
Unc, those were the best wings I've had, by the way.
That's what I try to tell people. People think I be lying when I say, because they be having 5-star chefs. They be having chefs that work at fine restaurants and casinos and things of that nature. No, they really be putting it down in that today.
I like it.
I learned it post-game. That was my post-game meal.
But here's what I've tried to tell him. Everybody vibe ain't like Atlanta. Atlanta is a different vibe. You go to the Hawks game, you go to the Dream game, you go to the soccer game, you go to the stadium, Mercedes-Benz. It's a different vibe, Ocho. So everybody don't vibe like the 8. So you expected like every arena that you go to, it's going to be like a club setting. Nah, they got barbers, chairs. They got everything going on up in the stadium.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true.
So, today you said feeding the ecosystem. I remember like when they came out with the team in 2004, they put Melo, they put D-Wade, they put LeBron. I'm not so sure at that time that we can make a case that all 3 of those guys were one of the best 12, but they understood that LeBron and his popularity probably needed to be on that team, as well as some of the other guys. And so growing the game, like you said, once the dream team, the original dream team happened in 92, the world started like, okay. And so that grew it. I can't recall, but one foreign-born female player, Lauren Jackson, and I'm sure you know who that is, that we can consistently say that she was a top 5, top 10 player in the WNBA. Has the world really caught up? Do they have, maybe they don't send them over here to the WNBA and they just play on their club team, but has the world really caught up to us that quickly?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I mean, if you look, this is the first generation of players that have the benefit of learning from YouTube. When we grew up watching sports, how did we learn? From the backyard, going from our coaches. I had to go to A.
Up to us that quickly?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I mean, if you look, this is the first generation of players that have the benefit of learning from YouTube. When we grew up watching sports, how did we learn? From the backyard, going from our coaches. I had to go to AAU to listen to a coach that was just the parent of a daughter that was there. Now people can watch the games globally. People can watch the skills and go practice it instantly. There's more infrastructure to support sports. And then on top of it, we have people in the women's game that are not showing up for the WNBA, taking seasons off just to practice with their national team because they understand that being on your national team is where you can really build your own marketing too.
Right.
Like this is a place where you can be a star, whereas in the W, maybe you are a role player. So you have teams. There's a woman named Emma Mieseman who plays for Belgium, I believe, who is one of the coldest people in WNBA. Y'all, she's like Luca in a way.
Wow.
Like she doesn't play faster than she needs to. She's gonna get her shot off, and she's just efficient. Now she's not like a guard; she's more of a forward. But my point is that she's cold. She's been playing with her team for like 2 years straight. That's why it took a buzzer beater for USA earlier this year to beat them, because these women are competing year round, similar to us, but they also have the chemistry. They've been playing together since they were babies. Now, that's one of the things that we have the benefit of having so much talent that sometimes talent overwhelms. But nowadays, with the different international rules, with the increased skill set, just with the overall chemistry that these teams have been playing with forever, it's a little bit more challenging than we ever expected. That's why, like, no one really says that USA winning, or even whether it's the men winning, which we saw last summer, is just a walk in the park, an assumption. You have to go out there and earn it. And I'll lastly say this. I think that women's sports, you know that saying, you have to work twice as hard to get half as far, right? Like, for people to really get the viewership, to get the respect, it feels like we always have to be perfect. We always have to be on. That's how women operate, not just in sports. As a broadcaster, I always have to lead with the facts and the figures. I have to keep my feelings to the side, because the moment I show my feelings, people are like, oh, what does she know? Why does she feel like she can speak on X, Y, and Z? That's just the nature that we're in. I'll say this, and Ocho, people see you before they hear you. They judge you before they know you. So you have to go out there and be perfect. Why should we play loose and fast at times with the rules of who should be on the squad, which could compromise the integrity of the game, when we know that we're being criticized regardless? We just have to be consistent in our pursuit of perfection. That, to me, is what it's like to be a woman or to be a female athlete. That is the challenge that we're always up against. My sister always said, why are we catering to a group that only came just for this certain moment and not came to see the beauty of the entire landscape, the beauty of the entire ecosystem? We will accept, we will welcome, but we will not conform to something that has not made us better individually. What made us the best is that we go up against the best each and every night. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's things that make the way women approach sports, because we are constantly dealing with criticism, different than men. And I think it's okay. I think it's perfectly okay.
What do you say to the people that says, okay, yeah, they might have not been here before, but they're here now? It's kind of like, we have this, okay, you're 31 years of age, and well, you got married at 30, 31. And so if somebody said, like, dang, Shanae, they probably would say, what's taking you so long? It doesn't matter when it happened. It's that the fact that it did happen. And we understand that Caitlin Clark came with a different lens than anybody in the history of the game, because of the NIL situation, because of the marketing brand that was behind her. And we know why. We don't have to get into the nuances. We know why, because it was a perfect storm. But how about we take this perfect storm, and while it's spinning, we let it sweep up everybody that's in its path, which is the WNBA?
Well, I think the difference here is because she has gotten everything that she has needed in some regards. This is the first time that she, per se, has been denied something that people are surprised by. Okay. She got number one. She is the face of a new franchise. She's honestly, unfortunately, considered by many that are new to this, the face of the WNBA, and one of the most popular faces now in American sports, right? Mm-hmm. I'll say this. When we talk about Asia Wilson has a chokehold on the league, but the way that we talk about Caitlin, I wish we could switch the dynamics, but it's what it is right now. She has gotten a lot, and no one's saying that she won't get it. They're just saying that right now, while all the eyeballs are there, yes, you feel like there's a great expectation, but I don't think you want to, there's a reason why she chose going to the WNBA instead of taking that Big 3 contract.
Yeah,
it's because she wanted to honor and respect the integrity of the sport and the competition in which she plays. You know what I'm saying? Not everything is what is delayed is not denied. She will be an Olympian if she continues on this trajectory. Has she been set up for success? Is this team being set up for success? Or is being popular more important? This is the one group that does not really move based off of popularity. And I think that's what people don't really understand.
Clearly. Well, Chiney, we're going to thank you for just stopping by. We know you only had a brief moment, but thank you for joining Ocho and I on Nightcap. Ladies and gentlemen, Chiney Ogwumike, my colleague at ESPN First Take, thank you for joining us. Good night, and see you soon.
Always. I'll come back. You're on. I feel like I can be a young auntie around here. You know?
You're welcome back anytime.
But we can kick it next time. We can kick it again.
Thank you, Chiney.